and start video transmission. What's going on, Runaway Warlords? Welcome to a fabulous Sunday afternoon. And I have DarkBriton here. How you doing?
Doing good. Ready to check out this theory.
So everyone's been going crazy. This is I don't think I've ever seen a YouTube One Piece theory video hit the community like this. 2.4 million views on a One Piece video. That's a rare one. That's like a once a year, if that, type of thing. So it's definitely something that we want to dive into. And we thought there's no chapter, so here we go. Well, let's get started with the Squarespace endorsement.
Suddenly it becomes a new word? Coincidence, you might say now. But when you take the same D initial and put it in front of Annie's lobby that otherwise makes no fucking sense, it suddenly becomes another English word. Denies. Yeah, I know. Blew my mind as well. So now that I know that you're gonna watch this video till...
Okay, what do you think about denies? Does that mean anything to you?
Not really.
I don't know.
I want to see where it plays in.
Right. Well, I don't know. Well, I know he's gonna hit on it later, but the wordplay stuff is always like a little strange to me. It goes over my head a bit.
Let me tell you the crazy story of how the Japanese One Piece community convinced me that the ancient kingdom was part of Jaya, that it's now at the bottom of the sea under Enies Lobby, and that Skypiea and Dressrosa tell us what happened during the Void Century. At the end of all this, I promise you will laugh as maniacally as I did when I found out just how in your face this all might have been all along. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited to share this.
By the way, Ohara cut his damn hair. What the hell? I thought we were supposed to be bun buddies, and he cut his hair. This is the first video I saw him with the new haircut. So congratulations, Ohara.
In chapter 253, we learned that Upper Yard in Skypiea.
Oh, is it? You seeing everything?
Your camera is spinning. It's spinning in the.
Oh crap! Oh man!
It is frozen in the stream.
How about the I don't think the video is running well, so I guess we can just keep it going.
Part of the island Jaya down on sea level. When you put both maps together, they form one giant skull-shaped island with modern Jaya being the teeth and the legendary golden city of Shandora as the right eye. Oh, yeah, and there is a giant perfectly round gaping hole where the other eye should have been. Why is no one mentioning this? There is an ancient city in the one eye, and the second eye looks like someone ripped out the one piece of the island that made the second eye of the skull. Wait, one piece? Are you telling me? Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's a little bit of a reach on my end.
well, you have to accept then from now on that Skypiea got its eye plucked out. Or isn't it natural topography that makes that cove? But it is. I really like the whole left eye. The left eye thing is insane, and I know he's gonna get into it more. In fact, let's
this
wait
video is also about the true nature of the One Piece and why Skypiea was actually not the least important, but the most important arc in the story. And we all didn't see it. I first stumbled across the centerpiece for this theory when doing research for my annual video. I came across this new Japanese One Piece YouTuber called Yuderon who absolutely rocks the Daft Punk mask and who has this crazy video about the true essence.
That is a cool look. Look at that. That's how he does his YouTube videos in like a comic space or manga panel. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm not gonna lie. It would be nice if some American One Piece YouTubers kept pulling it off.
Maybe we should look into a couple of those templates. But yeah, it looks like Persona 5 right here. That's cool.
Since I luckily speak some Japanese, I watched it all, and it blew my mind so damn hard that I think I just sat there for like 5 minutes straight, staring at my PC. Now, for whatever reason, this theory does just not exist in the English-speaking community. So I asked him on Twitter if he would be willing to let me share his thoughts, and got completely ghosted. At least he followed me back though. Thanks. So in good old pirate spirit, I decided to share with the people what belongs with the people. Okay, so the first thing that absolutely caught me by surprise is how much more Oda seems to play with words, numbers, and letters than we English-speaking fans seem to realize. Best example that is actually also relevant for this video is One Piece itself. In Japanese, One Piece is written in the katakana alphabet as One Piece, but this is only on top of an actual Japanese phrase, Hitotsunagi Daihyo. This is usually read as Hitotsunagi, the great treasure of the One Piece, as in the one piece of a whole, Hito as in one. However, this could also be read as Hitotsunagi, Hito as in humans, making it the treasure that connects all people, which
So, if you know anything about, the One Piece podcast, there's a guy named Greg. He was on there and he was talking about this about 4 years ago, about the one that connects us all, and how at the end of the journey, Luffy's going to be able to somehow connect all people, Marines, pirates, the Revolutionary Army, regular citizens. The one that connects us all is the One Piece. It's us all working together as one Earth, basically, to, instead of having enemies and being free. So yeah, anyway, so now I'm back on board, and I'm loving
course,
this.
One Piece is all about. So as I was saying, the core idea of this theory is that Jaya did not only lose a chunk of its land once when Upper Yard was catapulted into the sky by the knock-up stream 400 years ago, but also 800 years ago when the city located in the left eye was ripped out in the war with the world government. Which, when we look at the map, would theoretically work, right? One city as the right eye and one city as the left eye, making the island one ancient kingdom. So what's my proof?
Well,
Interesting.
okay, so that was Laftel, right? That image. Well, that's not a round island, right? That's like a so, or maybe yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
There's always been talk of a lost city, the lost city of the ancients. That could be it. It would make me wonder why. For instance, Nolan the Liar, when he came up to Jaya, no one believed that the island was there, if there was a city of gold. But if there was a war and they ripped out a chunk of the island, you would think that they would at least, it would be common knowledge of the city of gold on the other side of the island. So I'm kind of wary there.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, we're gonna get into. Yeah, you almost hinted at what was that city that you hinted at earlier? But anyway, I want to get into the Emerald City. Okay, let's keep it going then.
For all this, you ask. Oh, there is a lot. First of all, the name of the series, One Piece, and there is exactly one piece missing in this map. If Laftel itself was the One Piece missing from the former ancient kingdom, that would fit, right? No pun intended. Then there is also a ton of small hints regarding the island's left eye being hidden or destroyed throughout Skypiea. For instance, in the cover of volume 27, Luffy has his left eye closed, and I noticed that the same is sort of true for Robin in volume 24 as well. We also have Pedro's missing left eye, Shank's scar, Luffy's scar, Zoro's scar, and the Jolly Roger of Doflamingo, a former celestial dragon, where the skull's left eye is just literally stroked out. Now, the volume surrounding the
I love the left eye stuff. It's just oh my god, Liam did the funniest bit on this. He took what he did, and then all the people, of course, with the right eye slashed, and there's there's a ton of those too. But I love the left eye stuff. I would love, because it's so weird that Zoro, Sanji, and Luffy all have something going on with one of their eyes. Like either one eye's covered, slashed, got a scar on it. I don't know. It also might just be character design.
Well, it's just one of those things where even I'm just like, I just typed in One Piece scar, right eye scars, and Rayleigh pops up. So it's just, I get it, but I mean, this is a story about pirates, and there's going to be people with one eye, and I just don't know.
Isn't it strange that like Zoro straight up gets his eye slashed, and nobody's asked at all like, hey, what happened to your eye? Like, it's like it is bizarre that it still has not been addressed. you know, you just gotta wonder how that happened. My guy said it was in a fight with Mihawk, and he beat Mihawk.
Potentially. Fight with the big ape, and then he beat the big ape and got that. Because there's a big ape that learned from Mihawk, and that's what we last saw him go to fight in his training.
Right.
The Skype arc are actually some of the most critical in the entire story. Tons of important characters get introduced here. We meet Blackbeard and learn about the importance of dreams. We meet Bellamy and Doflamingo, who are also extremely relevant to this theory. And we see the meetings of Shanks and Whitebeard, as well as Ace and Buggy, all of which are super closely related to Roger, who, by the way, decided to leave a little message on the poneglyph in Shandora out of all places he could have done so. But the person most connected to Roger in a way that we meet in this arc.
Wait, let me hear that again.
By the way, decided to leave a little message on the poneglyph in Shandora out of
carrying it forward. Yes, I think that's a very fair tidbit. That's not as crazy, not like Left Eye, all that, but Roger's message left by Odin, traveling through time, I do think could tie in. That's like the first time I'm really like, okay, I can see that.
All places he could have done so. But the person most connected to Roger in a way that we meet in this
Another weird part about that whole Roger going to Skypiea is like how he got up to that space. Like I know that he could hear it, but I wonder how they traveled up to it. I mean, I guess they could, but they all went together, so it seemed like they had a way to fly all together, which of course could be explained with a devil fruit of some sort.
Like everyone on the island trying to get up there either. They had enough time to explore.
Right.
arc.
And he was... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and the clouds are physical. So, like, if Roger's a Chad and can jump high in the air...
Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, and then, you know, he was friends with Gonfall while he's up there. So he definitely was able to, you know, at least get a starting position there.
Well, that beanstalk has been there. So I could just see him hearing the voice up there and then climbing the beanstalk.
Yep.
Is none other than Mont Blanc Nolans. He's a direct parallel to Roger, and their connection is one big hint that Jaya was the ancient kingdom and that Love Tale is its missing part. Nolan is basically Roger, but in many ways
I was gonna say
both of them were very powerful, free-spirited adventurers. This panel here, where only Nolan can hear the sound of the bell, strongly suggests that just like Luffy and Roger, he had the voice of all things. Both of them found legendary places, Shandora and Love Tale. Both came back with no evidence, and both were sentenced to death and executed. However, here the stories start to invert each other. While Nolan was deemed a liar for his speech, Roger sparked a new era of piracy. Nolan didn't know the way back to Shandora, but Roger did know the way to Love Tale. Nolan cried while Roger laughed. And Nolan actually told the truth in the end, as the City of Gold was real, while Roger sort of lied, as the core of the One Piece is not gold and silver. And so, given all these parallels, wouldn't it make a ton of sense that Nolan found...
said, if you want my treasure, you're gonna have to find it first. I don't think Roger ever lied.
Right.
The One Piece.
He was being very ambiguous on purpose.
Yeah, so I don't think he actually lied. So that's where I'm also kind of like, yes, they're adventurers, but you can also be like,
I would think they're more like kindred spirits.
Buggy's an adventurer. Is now Buggy aligned with Nolan the liar? Like, what's...
I think we can agree that Mount Black had the same spirit. Had a similar spirit as Roger did, like
but adventure spirit is,
But no, I don't know about, I would think, like, if we're talking about inherited will, like, who? I mean, I think Nolan and passed down his will to Roger as well. I mean, and Luffy.
I think that's fair.
So. It's hard to say. I would say it's more lineage than mirrors of each other or something like that. Anyway.
The city of...
No, it's just thinking about it.
the right eye, while Roger found the one on the left. In Mocktown, at the beginning of the arc, Bellamy makes fun of dreamers and says that the era of dreams is over. He explicitly names the Golden City and the One Piece as two such delusions. And yet, as you very well know, the arc ends by Luffy ringing the golden bell, proving that the Golden City was there all along. Well, wouldn't it be extremely fitting then, even ironic, if the One Piece, the second location of dreams, used to be in the very same spot that Bellamy used to make fun of both of them? Further, when we reach the ruins of Shandora, Robin explicitly states that there is no doubt that this city fought against the enemy in the war. Well, if Shandora was part of the Ancient Kingdom, that would only be logical then, wouldn't it? Not only as an ally, but as a part of the whole. Also, we can't ignore the fact that Shandora is the only place we know of where the ancient script found on the poneglyphs is actually used as the regular writing system found on the buildings and walls there. And
Calgara are members of the D clan.
Really?
This is the argument that he's making. The members of the D clan came from the ancient city in the left eye. That's where those are the residents of the ancient city. Those are the people who lost during the Void Century, and those are the people who were erased. When you think about Calgara and when you think about Wiper, they were literally just fighting for freedom in their home, which is a staple of the D clan.
Oh,
I don't know if they would have died smiling. That for me would be the biggest tell.
yeah, that is odd that Mount Blanc didn't die smiling then. He wasn't a D.
Mount Blanc. Well, I'm not making the comparison of Mont Blanc to anyone. That's you and Ohara here. I'm only making the comparison of Calgara and Wiper, the Shandians.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So since we know that the Kozuki clan were the ones who actually created the poneglyphs for the Ancient Kingdom, and that this script is used very casually here, wouldn't the easiest explanation be that Shandora was part of the Ancient Kingdom? And given recent events, wouldn't that also explain why the Sun God, who we now know as Nika, is heavily referenced here by the people as well? We even see Luffy in the exact same pose.
Nika looks exactly like the Shandians.
Right.
Poses him. And when I saw that panel of Nika, I immediately thought of the Shandian soldiers. And since Nika and Joy Boy, both names associated with laughter, quite possibly describe the very same person from 800 years ago, wouldn't it make sense that these traditions live on in Jaya because it was once part of this one ancient kingdom? And then I thought to myself, oh, but the sun isn't the only majorly important symbol in the story, is it? One of the most consistently returning themes in One Piece is also the moon. It's
I love the moon. This is where I'm like, oh yeah, tell me more. I love the
everywhere,
moon stuff.
and I can't begin to count all the significant things that happened under a full moon in the story. The sun and the moon obviously go hand in hand in pretty much any mythology. On Zou, another ally of the Ancient Kingdom, we even get guardians of the night and the day with Nekomamushi and Inuarashi. So, wouldn't it make sense for the right city to be the city of the sun and the left city to be the city of the moon? By the way, I just looked it up. In Teotihuacan, one of the ancient cities of Mexico that Shandora is based on, there actually is a pyramid of the sun and a pyramid of the moon. The very same moon, by the way, which is part of the
Those are the
Kozuki
kind of things that Oda loves. So that makes sense.
heritage, and whose crest is pretty much the same as the Shandians. And while I was thinking this, I found...
Well, okay, we might as well... You know what? I got a thought. So, now that I'm watching this, I just thought of something. So now we get to play the game of... okay, if that city in the left eye was, yeeted out of there, what other islands in One Piece have that shape that are particular? And I just thought of one, is on Zou. That one is particular. That's like an ancient city as well. That's kind of. But I think I have to look at a map on it here. As a matter of fact, I'll just look it up real quick. One Piece. But then that doesn't. Yeah, it. It's circular. Now we get to find all these circular islands and say that they're.
Yeah, this city would make more sense of being ripped out of the left eye.
Look at that. That is interesting to me. Okay.
Here's the thing. This city makes more sense of being the ancient city ripped out of the eye and placed on the back of the elephant. Because we know that the elephant's been walking for a millennia, roughly 800 years potentially. Why not?
I'm surprised Robin didn't like investigate all this, you know? Like I don't think, did we ever see her looking at any of the ancient languages on these? I don't know.
No, because initially she was too busy worrying about the minx meeting Kinemon in them.
Right.
This crazy color spread of chapter 269, where we see the Straw Hats in a place looking suspiciously like Wano, surrounded by the birds from the Kozuki crest. A crest that, by the way, has also crossbones, but no skull. Okay, this is chapter 269. The last panel of chapter 268 is this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, coincidence?
I think not!
The inscription on the pillar that Robin reads in the ruins says, "We are the ones who weave history with the sound of the great bell." Come on, we are the ones who weave history? Clearly the Kozuki. And it also reminds me of this verse from Bing Sake that says...
You don't like that?
How is it clearly the Kozuki?
Because the Kozuki clan was the one that wrote it. We are the ones that weave history. So they're the ones that are cementing history onto the poneglyphs, right? Makes sense to me, at least. Just because, well, yeah. Who else? The D clan isn't weaving history, I don't think. Goodbye harbor of the spinning village.
On top of that, I then remembered that the Shandians came down from the moon to Jaya with very advanced technology, making them the perfect candidates to be a part of an ancient, powerful kingdom. Okay, I'm gonna let you breathe here for a second. So, real quick, I want to say thank you to Squarespace, who's the sponsor of this video. Thank you, Squarespace. A really professional website is something that really makes you stand up, update your website's
Peace and love.
Okay, break over. Next up is a concept that I learned from Yuderon that changed my perspective on Oda's writing completely. According to him, Oda absolutely loves playing with the numbers of the chapters to either describe what is gonna happen in this chapter or even hide a deeper message. One really interesting and way too specific date that Oda gives us in the story is the 12th of May 1122, the day that Noland discovers Jaya. Oda usually never gives us specific dates for anything, so why now?
Okay, I just want to pause real quick and talk about Tama's birthday, because you know, when they get to the island, it's Tama's birthday, and Oda, you know, Tama has the actual birth date, but it actually doesn't. I think that was a mistake, though. I don't think he actually intended it like that. But we do technically have a date also for when they got to Wano, which would be when it was Tama's birthday.
Sure.
Well, okay, you get the idea.
Generally, dates in Japanese are written as year, month, day. So 1122. 512. Now, if you take the individual numbers and the pronunciation from both Japanese and English, you get this. Hitotsu ni koko ni iru. Hitotsu ni koko ni iru. The one is here. Interestingly enough, the volume title of 31 is also koko ni iru. I am right here. So is this the One Piece literally telling us that it's right here? The next date we get is the 16th of November 1127, 5 years later, when Shandora gets knocked into the sky. Same game. This time we get Hitotsunagi In Torodoroku. Do you remember? Hitotsunagi is the One Piece, and In is the sound of a bell. Thus, this stage reads, the One Piece roars with the sound of a bell. The bell coincidentally being part of the unfulfilled promise to Noland to ring the bell that was then inherited over generations until Luffy was finally the one to fulfill it. Another promise that was unfulfilled and inherited to future generations was that of Joy Boy, not 400 but 800 years ago.
魚人島との約束を破ったことへの謝罪文だという。
So, when you subtract another 400 years back to the Void Century from Nolan's two dates 400 years ago, 1122 and 1127 minus 400, you get the years 722 and 727. The first possibly marking the promise by Joy Boy to the Mermaid Princess, and the second might be the year of destruction of the Ancient Kingdom. I know we're really deep into this right now, but stay with me because what comes next absolutely blew my mind.
I wonder what narrative trick that is to temper expectations like that. I wonder if that's like some kind of like writing. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's some kind of writing tool is to pump you up before like you do something crazy like that. Anyway.
Take these two numbers, 722 and 727, and look at the corresponding chapters. You don't get some random stuff happening. No, 722 is the reveal that Doflamingo is a celestial dragon. In this chapter, he tells Law about how the 20 kings created the world government. 19 of the 20 families deciding to move to Merijoa, while the Nefertari family was the only one who did not go. The descendants of these kings, the world nobles, still live there today. And so this meant that 19 of these countries had to elect new royalties and new kings, and so new royal families were established. As a result, the new ruling family in Dressrosa were the Riku family, while the family that left for Merijoa were the Don Quixote family. Ancient history. Okay, so anything else that might be interesting happening in this chapter? Oh, yeah, we have a literal golden bell ringing in close-up. And then there is Jolla. Do you remember Jolla and
Oh man, I hated her so much. She was
her
the
great
worst.
artwork? Yeah, me neither. But look at this abstract masterpiece of hers here.
There's no way this thing has relevance.
Giant gate with two eyes. The right one, bright like the sun, is open.
No
The
way.
left one, dark like the night, is crying. I think I don't have to spell this one out for you, right? This might well represent the Ancient Kingdom being destroyed and ripped out of Jaya. All while Brook is playing music on top of it, and we all know how important music is in the One Piece endgame as well. And after defeating Jolla, he even says this.
すみません。私やっぱり芸術わかりません。目が節穴ですから。
At the same time, the Straw Hats and Tontada start the battle to restore the honor of the fallen king and regain their freedom. Chapter 727, meanwhile, where the fight in Block D continues. Okay, this might actually just be coincidence. We hear the story of Doflamingo taking over the country by staging King Riku and his men going against their own people.
もっと国中が恐怖に震え上がり陸王を心底恨み切った時だ
The wordplay we get for this chapter number is chi ni ochiru, falling to the ground. Not only how Dressrosa fell, but also how the Ancient Kingdom fell. Jolla even says that her cryptic art is meant to represent the tragedy of Dressrosa. So also the tragedy of the Ancient Kingdom? Now, you might rightly say, Ohara, if Dressrosa is the representation of the fall of the Ancient Kingdom, what connection is there between Shandora and Dressrosa? Oh, right, this is a rhetorical question, right? The connection is this.
導いてくれたというトンタッタ王国の伝説のヒーロー
The chapter where Nolan finds out that Shandora has vanished while Kalgara waits for Nolan's promised return is chapter 292.
I know I haven't paused in a while, but I have nothing to say on this because it's like you did the thing, the meme. He did the meme where you take two numbers, minus them together, and then make something out of it. So I just didn't know what to say on this part. I do love these chapters. I mean, I don't love these chapters, but it is nice to look back at it.
Titles like the half moon hidden by the clouds. Again, the symbol of the moon that we can also find on Nolan's ship in this chapter. And the
That's
wordplay for this chapter is
It is
skinny two moons. In other words, two half moons making a whole, making the sun. Wouldn't it also make a lot of sense that the D is actually a half moon? 800 years ago, the people of the sun were overthrown and the done piece became the one piece. A circle became half a circle and became eventually a letter. The will of D then being to be made one whole again, becoming the sun, becoming one piece. Okay, I thought to myself at this point, this already makes way too much sense. But now on to the biggest mystery of it all. Why do I think that the One Piece and or Laugh Tale is at Enies Lobby?
正義の門ってのは島の裏手にあって四方の塔からのみ行けるようだ
Okay, I got something after he explains this point.
黒いのは滝だ
The same Enies Lobby, by the way, whose main villain is called Rob Lucci, the one who robs the light. Just saying. Okay, so we have One Piece that when adding the D2, it gives us Done Piece. A Done Piece.
Okay. Finally, we can talk about... Now, I think I could have jumped in a little earlier on this whole Emerald City thing. But Joy Boy, like, what is that? 5-6 years ago? It was a really long time ago. Had this awesome theory about Emerald City. So, when Bellamy is yelling at Luffy, he goes, the lost city of gold, the Emerald City, the great treasure of One Piece. So we know that, two of these are at least relevant. But the Emerald City. And I thought, okay, so Emerald City comes from the Wizard of Oz. This is the first mention of it in popular media. And Frank Baum got the idea of the Emerald City as like some kind of dystopian Washington, like how everything looks really elegant on the outside, but inside, it's actually kind of like a normal ass building, and it's kind of chaotic in there. And so that was his analogy for Washington, is the Emerald City. And it's like everywhere else in Wizard of Oz, right, is like kind of low tech, and then the Emerald City is like a high tech, a gorgeous town. And so his theory back in the day was that Reverse Mountain was fueled by the Emerald City. So the Emerald City is underneath the Reverse Mountain. But that, I think that's really interesting, but maybe, I think that's just explained with reverse current. However, do you, DarkBriton, think that the Emerald City exists in One Piece, since Bellamy mentioned it one time?
I think that the Emerald City is the city of the ancients.
How do you mean by that?
City of the Ancients was probably in the left eye. City of the Ancients was civilization but was the location of where that's the place that was destroyed for the world government to take control. So that's what I'm saying, is the Emerald City could very well be the City of the Ancients.
Got it.
I don't think those are two places, two different.
But I like the idea of like Laugh-Tale being like a separate entity. Like he's talking about the sun and the moon stuff. That'd be cool if the Emerald City was was like the moon in that equation, and then Laugh-Tale was just its own separate entity. But I don't know. I just love to see the Emerald City somehow get smushed into here. Another thing that we could probably get into right now is the whole eye patch, left eye crossed out. And in a Oda interview, they said, so how come there aren't any pirates with a eye patch? And Oda goes on to say, I love the idea of an eye patch. In fact, in the last panel, I imagine Luffy fighting a pirate with an eye patch. And so here's an image of Luffy with his eye patch, which looks awesome. And yeah, it'd be interesting, like the thought process of using the left eye because of how popular it is to put one of those on a pirate, and to work your series from like a nice cliche like that. Like to know from the beginning about, you know, using something with the left eye being a major part of it. I don't know. But I just thought that was interesting. Let's see. Anything else that I didn't do? Oh yeah, well, he was talking about numbers, and yeah, I just always found it interesting about how Luffy, the Gomu Gomu, 5656. So I guess, you know, like there's number play, and I think that's their birthdays, right? Users and numbers.
The numbering. So I like how what he was saying about the numbering depicting the name in Japanese. I like that part. I still don't know how it plays in at all, but
Right.
I like how Oda does that.
Okay. All right, let's get back into it then.
The first thing that connects Enies Lobby to this is that it also takes a D. Suddenly, Enies Lobby that makes no sense as a word becomes denies. Denies what? I thought.
Freedom?
But it's probably more of
Yeah, how did you make? Okay, wait. Yeah, this is the weird part for me. It's like, why are we putting the D on One Piece again?
okay, so we have One Piece that when adding the D to, it gives
Why are we doing that?
us done piece. Done piece.
I love
the
it,
first
but
thing
why?
that connects Enies Lobby to this is that it also takes a D. Suddenly, Enies Lobby that makes no sense as a word becomes denies. Denies what? I thought. But it's probably more of denies who. When you really think about it, Enies Lobby is one of the most freakish places we've ever visited in the story. And I know that says something. It never gets dark there. We have the enormous gates of justice that no one ever seems to bother to
Does it
explain
not get
really.
dark in
It is
Enies
one of
Lobby?
the central
No,
government
it's eternal light. Isn't that weird?
Interesting.
facilities, but it makes no sense that they would hold their mock trials on an extra island instead of Impel Down, for instance. Oh, and what the is the deal with this giant
Why did he
It makes sense for
censor
the
it?
whole judicial. Why would you hold judicial judgments in a prison? So it does make sense for them to have a different place than Impel Down.
Right.
hole gaping in the middle of the ocean? The moment I looked at Enies Lobby's map, it just made a lot of sense that this might have been the missing piece in the Jaya map that we're looking for. Shape-wise, it absolutely fits. I also wondered if these weird ancient structures on top of the island had any purpose for the Marines, but it doesn't seem like they do. So could it be that
Fortress.
Right. Well, also, you look at Mary Jo, it's all about extravagance, like needing way more than, you know, what you need. You know, getting way more than what you need. It's like way overdone. And yeah, it's in Mary Joa too. It's like all these giant buildings for, you know, empty hallways. It's just elegant. It's just lavish greed.
these are the remnants of an actual ancient kingdom, the missing link that we were looking for, and then the government just decides to build its own stuff on the island. Is that why they parade the pirates they capture over this island? As a forgotten tradition to remember their glorious victory of the pirate kingdom they fought against? I mean, it is called the Island of Justice after all, Shiho no Shima in Japanese. And here I'm a little bit proud of myself because I wondered that if there were multiple readings to the word for One Piece, there might be more to this as well, right? So here's what the dictionary told me. Shiho, obviously with different kanji combinations, next to justice, can also mean 1, 4 directions, 2, secret information, and 3, greatest treasure. Oh, okay. So we have the Island of 4 Directions, just like the 4 road poneglyphs you need to find Laugh Tale. The Island of Secret Information, just as the forgotten history located on Laugh Tale. And finally, the Island of the Greatest Treasure, the One Piece itself. So as a result, the government has made this one of the most guarded places in the world, where no one can sneak in during darkness, no one can escape from without opening the gates of justice, and that is directly connected to Impel Down and Marija itself. For Luffy, entering this island means declaring war on the entire world government itself.
So we're saying that this island was literally picked up out of the left eye and put in Enies Lobby.
Right. Or it's underneath it. But I guess he is saying that that's the part that's kind of getting me. It's like, oh, I thought it was going to be a little bit more, not so government T. You know, I thought it was gonna be more like ruins. I guess. I don't know.
It's an island that denies entrance to the D, the sworn enemy of the gods. And since Enies Lobby is the arc directly after Skypiea, wouldn't it be a classic Oda move for the missing piece to be right there? I mean, the Straw Hats literally come to save the one person in the world that can figure out the true nature of this place. This arc is all about Robin and her unique ability to read the ancient script and her search for the truth, and how the world government is covering it all up. Hell, don't forget that this is the arc where we first learned about the ancient kingdom in the first place. Okay, but clearly the One Piece can't be in a town full of Marines, right? So where is it? Only one way to go. Remember the inverted stories of Roger and Noland? Well, Noland's City of Dreams was pushed into the sky. Well, what if Roger's island got dropped to the bottom of the sea? So, let me think. Is there anything that might suggest that there's something at the bottom of Enies Lobby? What? So the wordplay from chapter 727, the fall of Dressrosa, was falling to the ground. Did Laugh Tale literally fall to the ground? I believe it did. I believe that Enies Lobby itself is the missing city from Jaya, and that under the floating island is the island of Laugh Tale and the One Piece. Just like the hidden world under Dressrosa. No wonder then that Roger laughed when he reached Laugh Tale. He had—
Hold on. Didn't so remember when Chopper first got into his big beast form, and then Frankie knocked him into the water, and then they were about to fall? Oh, can you hear me now? Oh, okay. So, do you remember when Chopper first got big, and then Frankie had to push him into the water? Okay, and then who's the round dude? What's his name? Fukuro? No.
The person they were fighting, I think it was Papa, but I can't really.
Yeah. Okay. So he discovered the One Piece. He fell off the waterfall, didn't he?
Fell down there.
Yeah, he discovered One Piece then.
had literally been to the
I think so.
ancient kingdom before and passed by Laugh Tale many times, right in front of everyone's noses. And the ultimate proof I have for this are Roger's very last words at his execution, the very words that start One Piece.
探せ、この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた。
Again here, the secret lies in the Japanese version, a true wordplay in true Oda fashion. Roger says, この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた. I left everything in this world, soko. Soko in Japanese meaning there. However, it also has a second meaning. Soko also means bottom. In other words, the second meaning of Roger's last words is, I left everything in this world at the bottom.
Oh, I love the wording of that.
I'm not 100% just because, for instance, when he's like, oh, Enies Lobby could be under it, and wouldn't it be great if afterwards it was right there? You could make the same case for Long Ring Longlands, that it's a circular ring island. There's islands are above, what's underneath, that could be the One Piece. Like, there's a lot of holes for me.
Yeah, I do like the idea of now everyone can insert their own island that they think got plucked out of Skypiea. Insert here for the next theories to come.
And then also the biggest thing, Enies Lobby was already around when Roger was there a lot. So where he didn't go to Enies Lobby to see Laptop.
Well, I guess that we know of. We don't know that he didn't go there.
They would have been Marines, and they would have been fighting Marines if they were left. Or if they were in Enies Lobby. Also, Enies Lobby has never been assaulted until Luffy got it.
Well, that makes you think. I don't even believe this, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. That they basically got to Skypiea scot-free. They didn't really have to fight anybody. And then
because there's a way that Gonfall mentioned that they took.
So it could stand to reason that he snuck down there and didn't alarm anybody.
With a giant ship
with
a
an egg on
giant
it.
egg with Odin. With I'm sorry, but that just there's just too much holes in that.
I hear ya. I hear ya. So, do you have? I don't even know if I can 100% agree with any particular theory that he has. Maybe besides some of the number plays, because that always,
Things, yeah, that sounds really cool.
yeah.
A lot of other things, it's just like, you can literally take any circular island. You can take Dressrosa as an island and say that it could have been the Hive.
My vote right now, if that is the case, that it's Zoe, just because they both look.
Exactly, Zoe.
I think
Zoe makes a much better case, and because it's on the back of the elephant who's been walking around for so long. As in it was by the Kozuki, which means so that's much tighter than that.
Right. Yep. So, yeah, in same video, and you know what's funny is that we have another Ohara video coming in a month, I think, and that's a library of Ohara. It's supposed to be coming out with his big, like, what is it, like 5-hour One Piece video of connecting every single thing in One Piece. That's what he's been working on, but he's been sick lately, so that's why it was such a surprise to me that this thing swept everybody up.
Which is, yeah, I like the numbering things, but overall I'm not very sure. Just because the right eye think, the left eye think could easily be dunked by Rayleigh. There's
Okay,
Roger,
well, oh sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say Roger would have been we would know if Roger had been in his lobby. Like there would be tales of this.
Yeah.
And this is the One Piece world. Like, so we would know that he would have had an assault on India's lobby if he was actually there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that is our analysis of it, of the best One Piece theory you'll ever watch, I guess. Well, I guess that it is the best one on that I've seen, for sure, view-wise. So congratulations, Ohara, on a wonderful video. Thank you for watching if you have. We will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock for a new chapter, so check in then. Until then, peace and love. Got Dark Brit.